So in this fourth day in my 21-day relaxation challenge, I did the Kundalini meditation technique by Osho. And I also decided that I'm not going to be doing one of these every day because it's a little bit too intense for that. Like, these techniques are quite like hardcore in a way, and they take minimum of an hour. So also, if I expect people to in any way follow along and try it yourself, then I gotta take it slower. So this is day 4, the Kundalini technique. And so something that I realized and I noticed doing this one is actually a sort of problem that exists in relation to these meditation or relaxation techniques. And it exists within the very context that we give it, or the lack thereof, in terms of how these meditation techniques and the way we view them, at least how I've always viewed them throughout my life, is that every time I would do one of these techniques, or even every time I went on like a retreat, there would always be an expectation that, or a belief that if I do this technique, that in a way it will help me relax. And that's because, that's what they're called. They're meditation techniques or relaxation techniques. It's like, it always seemed like that's the whole point of it. Also, when you hear people like Osho talk about them, it's almost like what he's saying is like, if you do this, then it will basically help you become a different person or a new person. It will help you shed your mind. It will help you basically just release and let go of all of that stress that you've been building up inside of you. And so there's always been that sort of belief or expectation that that's what's going to happen, that almost like if you go through this technique, then on the other side you're going to be a different person. You're going to go through something, and that's going to change you because you're going to have released all this stress inside of yourself. But what I've realized is that doesn't actually work that way. It doesn't actually happen that way. And that in a way, it's almost an illusion, because when you are doing the technique, you will notice that you do get a whole different perspective on yourself, because basically what these techniques are, it's that for a moment you create a space in your life where you can step outside of your comfort zone, where you step outside of your habits, your routines, everything about you and how you live your life from day to day, from moment to moment. These techniques, like this Kundalini technique, it's literally shaking yourself up, shaking up your life. Where in this particular technique, like, you shake your body for 15 minutes. That's one of the phases of it. So you're literally shaking things up, and you're doing something that you don't usually do. So you create like a space for yourself to explore your body, yourself. You explore levels of yourself that you haven't gotten familiar with. So what happens as you go through these techniques is that things will come up. You will see yourself in a different way. You will, for example, with these sort of physically active techniques of shaking your body and sitting still for 15 minutes and things like that, because you are putting your body through something that it's not used to, it's almost like it will support your body to let go of stress for a moment. For a moment, you just literally shake yourself up. You shake the stress loose, and then you will actually get to see, where stress manifests in your body, which kind of stress you're holding on to, what's the type of stress that you've been building up throughout your entire life. And you will have these, like, sometimes epiphanies, realizations of, like, oh my God, there's so much stress that I'm under and that I've always been under. And, like, you will actually physically, on a physical level, realize just exactly how tense you've been throughout your entire life. But then, because in those moments you have those epiphanies, and in those moments it feels like you could just let go of it, it creates the illusion that's possible, that you could just, in this 1 hour that you're doing this technique, you could just let go of everything and you will be completely reborn. You will be completely different, and you will have completely let go of all the stress. But the thing is that it doesn't work that way, because, we don't live in a time or a culture where we would be able to just not go back to work the next day. Because the thing is, we still live in this world, in this system. We still have to do the same things every day. We just go back into our habits, our routines, our way of life, because, we're here. This is the system that we exist in. Which is also different from where Osho grew up, and when he designed these meditation techniques and things like that, where maybe for him it did work differently. So as soon as we step back into our routines, our mind just kicks back into gear as well, because obviously the stress within our body is layers and layers of memories, of habits and routines that we have cultivated and developed throughout years during our life. So we're not going to be able to just completely let go in one moment. All that we will realistically be able to do through doing these meditation techniques is, like I said, just shake things up just enough for us to be able to see and have a more clear perspective and insight into where is the stress situated in our body. Like, just have a little deeper look under the surface. Get in touch with our body for a moment, so that we might be able to understand things a little bit better, so that when we do step back into the system, into our habits and routines and patterns, so that we're able to take our insight and work with it. Because what is relaxation? Relaxation is actually not what you get when you go through one of these techniques for an hour. That's not relaxation, even though it might feel like it is. Relaxation is actually the result of a process that you walk, a process that may take years of step by step peeling off all those layers of stress that you've accumulated throughout your lifetime. It's gonna take a process, and you will have to walk it very slowly, step by step, taking yourself by the hand, where you will actually create relaxation over time in a way that will be real. It won't be an experience that you get out of an hour of doing a meditation technique. So therefore, these techniques are not actually to create relaxation necessarily. They are tools of support in that journey and process to create relaxation, which is actually an entirely different process altogether. But these meditation techniques are more tools along the way that you can use. So that's just a little bit of context, just to sort of frame these techniques in a way that that doesn't cause you to go into them and practice them with a false starting point, because that will end up only creating disappointment, defeatism, where you end up realizing that, you actually haven't become a different person, and you actually haven't reborn completely, where you end up feeling deflated and disappointed in yourself, thinking maybe there's something wrong with you because you haven't been able to do that, to do what you were apparently supposed to be doing. And, you know, for me, I realized that having this context and this frame of what these techniques are all about and why I'm doing them, it really did support me as well with being able to relax, with actually taking away some of that pressure that I noticed myself going into, you know, basically almost wanting to push myself towards that point of, oh, I need to be able to let go of all of my stress in this 1 hour meditation, doing this technique. I have to basically get through all of my mind, let go of all of these points of stress that I'm seeing come up during this technique. I have to be able to basically let go of all of it, you know, which becomes a point of pressure and stress while I'm doing these techniques, which is completely counterproductive. So it did, you know, just having that understanding of, okay, well, this is not about relaxation. Actually, this is just a tool along the way for me to be able to have a space for myself, to have more clarity with myself, maybe get in touch with my body for just a moment. A little bit of a breather for me. It did support me to just relax, you know, to just let go of the expectations, let go of the pressure, you know. There's no pressure. You just don't have to be an expert at it. You don't have to achieve great things here. You can just be who you are. All right. So that's a little bit of my perspective on that. Thanks for watching. All right, bye.